Widek here, welcoming you to another replay, this time on Star Station. And in this Best of 5 series from the Asus 2013 Summer Edition, we've got here spawning in the bottom left as the Blue Terran, we got Team Liquid's Taeja. And his opponent, and unfortunately also his teammate, spawning as the red Zerg in the top right, we got Team Liquid's TLO. And it is unfortunate they are both on Team Liquid, and it is a little bit different because obviously Taeja is from Korea and he does play in Pro League. TLO, on the other hand, plays more on the European server, but they are on the same team and they do talk about strategies and things like that. So some of those things behind the scenes may or may not affect the outcome of this game. Taeja's going to be building a barracks on the high ground, going for a very normal conservative build. TLO, on the other hand, looks like he's going to be going for 15 hatchery. There we go. He's going to save up 300 minerals and skim on down to his natural and plop down that hatchery, and there we are. On the other hand, Taeja's refinery is almost completed. Maybe he'll go for some early Reaper, Harass, or Scout. And it'll be very interesting. In this matchup, Taeja is the favorite, as generally everybody knows Koreans play a lot better than foreigners for whatever reason that might be. But everybody is a pro gamer, and anyone can win. And the first Reaper is training currently from that barracks. TLO has now put down the spawning pool, and we're going to have to wait another half minute or so before we see any action from either player. As the Overlord is moving over to Taeja's base, very slowly but surely. And the Reaper is going to pop out. There we go. The hatchery for TLO is finished. The Reaper is halfway to TLO's base. And unfortunately, because TLO doesn't have gas, the Reapers will be able to harass consistently. I mean, there's only one Reaper, but there is a second one coming out. Without Zergling speed, the Reapers can do significant damage. Is he going to be able to pop one drone? No. Hides into an extractor. The second one hides in, morphs into a spore crawler. So great micro from TLO. This is still affecting mining time. And, oh, not able to get the final shot on that drone. Able to morph into an extractor again. And with that queen, this Reaper harass should end. The Reaper is going to hide out here and regenerate some life. He still has 0 kills. He's going to jump up on the ramp, able to pick off the Zergling, and the second one is going down now. But now with a queen at both bases, it's going to be nearly impossible for the Reapers to do significant damage. With this harass going on, Taeja is getting his third command center, and a reactor attached to his factory. The Reapers are now fully healed, and they do want to go back in and get some action. The Queens are waiting, and this is one of those times where connecting the main and the expansion is a prudent action. Otherwise, there's a small pocket where Queens are very slow. And with the third Reaper joining the battle, the Queen could take significant damage here. It's in the orange. And the Reapers are going to regenerate again. And Zergling speed is being researched now. So the window for Taeja to do damage with these Reapers is coming down. And he's going to go in for one other attempt. He's able to destroy one creep tumor. At least temporarily delay that creep spread. That's never a bad thing for Terran players. And 2 Hellions will be joining as well. Zergling speed will be finished in less than half a minute. These Reapers have to figure out where they can jump up on the ramp. And they're able to pick off that last creep tumor, so great pick off by Taeja. 4 Reapers and 2 Hellions are not that scary, but they can be scary to a whole bunch of Zerglings. But now Zergling speed is completed. I don't think TLO has I don't think Taeja has spotted it yet. He has to be very wary of this, otherwise he could lose all these units to a quick Zergling surround. He is getting stim pack, and now Taeja's gonna opt to get out of there. He has a scan go down in the main, but he's not able to see much, as double evolution chambers have gone up behind the mineral line of the natural. So great job by TL to hide it. And Taeja's units are now going to get engaged by the Zerglings. They're doing significant damage, but they're also being destroyed in a fiery glory. But the Zerglings are going to be able to get this round, able to do significant damage to these Hellions. All the Hellions go bye-bye, and one Reaper's able to jump up and go, ha-ha, you can't catch me. He jumps back down. Taeja's not paying attention, and that last unit gets picked off. So the resources lost tell the story here. Taeja is a little bit behind in regards in that category. And the Overlord has been able to get a full scout out on what's going on in Taeja's base. And now a large pack of Zerglings is going to head over to this lone bunker. About 21 Zerglings in TLO's army. So Taeja does not have a lot. He'll have to repair that bunker, but other units may be coming in soon behind this. And actually, TLO's getting a macro hatch at his natural. That's very interesting. His third is now up. Taeja third has been planted, but there's no way that he can defend it. He's withdrawn all the Marines to deal with these 2 Zerglings, but now the Marines are out of position. But there is one siege tank on the high ground, able to destroy 5 Zerglings for the price of sitting around. And so Taeja has been able to deal with that little Zergling run by very effectively. And that's one of the problems on Star Station is that your third is very large. And look how many supply depots Taeja has to build just to get sort of a block off. It's not even blocked off yet. And he's going to have to build it all the way around to get a full block off. And that almost never happens. So the third can be difficult to defend. And there's so much space here that attacking units or defending units can get a large concave. And TL is getting his 4th. He's being very aggressive. He knows he wants to be 1 base up. He's getting an infestation pit at the same time. And unfortunately for Taeja, he's also behind in the upgrade department. He's about to even out, but TL is going to be slightly ahead. So there may be a small timing window where TL can take advantage of that, but right now they're even. They're both 1-1. Combat shields have just finished. And this is finally walled off at the third for Taeja, and he's going to move out with Marines to the Xel'Naga Tower at that south position. Centrifuge hooks are being researched, and great pickoff by Taeja, able to finish off all those creep tuners in the center of the map, but he doesn't know about this small contingent of Zerglings and Banelings, and the Banelings can knock down all these supply depots and get to the bunker. Taeja's third is in a very precarious situation. The Banelings are now morphed in, as Taeja is sending more and more Marines around the map looking for stray Overlords and creep tumors. He's able to destroy this last Overlord here, or this one Overlord here. And with that, the Zerglings know, TL knows that there's this pack of Marines that are out of position. And Taeja's going to try and run. He's going to ladder to the bottom right. Smart decision by Taeja, rather than sacrificing those Marines. TL is still running around looking for the Marines. Only able to find one. And the supply advantages are telling me that Taeja has a small lead. So he might be able to move out here. Army supply is definitely in his favor. 96 to 59 currently. But this pack of Banelings and Zerglings are still waiting just outside the thirds. Taeja needs to pay attention to that flank of his base. And the Zerglings or Banelings are going to go around right now. The mine's not able to get a very good hit. The siege tank's still able to do punishing damage, and that mine's going to finish off the rest of those Zerglings. At the same time, there's a medevac with one lone marine. I don't think he's going to be able to do too much. That Spore Crawler's doing a lot of damage to that medevac. And Taeja's supply is 40 over TLO's now. TLO is just sitting back and relaxing, it looks like. He has the economic advantage as he's getting his 5th as well. And now Taeja's not giving TLO a lot of options. The Banelings get awesome connections. No splits there. The mines also ended up hitting a lot of Taeja's own Marines, and he's going to pick up and lift off and drop behind the mineral line of TLO's 4th at the 3 o'clock position. Banelings get good connections again. At the end, not so good, as they were focusing down on the Marauder. The Marines are being dumped off in death territory, and this is great micro by Taeja. He's dropping off single Marines onto Banelings. That's never a bad deal to trade one Marine for a Baneling. 3-3 being researched for both players. And Taeja is still harassing at the 3 o'clock position of TLO, but he's not able to actually do that much economic damage. And that last Baneling was able to finish off those last 3 Marines. And Taeja's still trying to press at this 3 o'clock position. He's got a lot of mines set up, but generally you want to set them up a little bit more spread out. But the Marines are streaming in here. Lots of stim. Whoa, great connection by the Baneling. Another great connection. The mines are going to go off here. Able to do significant damage to the Ultralisk, but they've got lots of life as well. One Ultralisk finally goes down. And Transfuses go down on the second one. The Marines and Marauder are stimming in here, focusing down on this hatchery at the 3 o'clock position. A lot of Zerglings come in, and now Taeja's going to have to lift off with his medevacs. And he's also able to destroy those mines that has been pestering that ramp. The Marines and Marauders are on the high ground, but now the Ultralisk is in melee range, just chopping down on all those bio units. He's got 4 kills, and he's finally going to get picked up, but these Zerglings should be able to clean up the rest of his force. At the same time, Taeja is getting his 4th up, trying to morph it into a planetary fortress, but this one Ultralisk already has 8 kills and doing lots of damage. These mines need to be picked up, and they are, and the Zerglings are surrounding this pack of Marauders. And Taeja's in an uncomfortable position now. Supply lead is in favor of TLO, and TLO is gathering the bandwagons and is going to be doing significant damage here. The Banelings get great connections on the miners, losing a lot of SCVs. The Marines and Marauders are stimming, doing significant damage to the Ultralisk. Ultralisk are chomping down on this Bioforce again. There are no fungals in here, but they don't seem to need it. TLO is walking in here and chomping down on all those Marines, and actually some of those SCVs are now long distance minded because the command center has lifted off, and the supplies tell the story. I think the resources lost are fairly even, but TLO's had many more bases, or at least one more base than Taeja for most of the game. So even though the resources lost are actually in favor of Taeja, it doesn't tell the story here, as Taeja is behind. The supplies favor TLO by about 25, and now the Marines and Marauders are going to do some cleanup work, getting rid of those nasty creep tumors near the center of the map. And although as a Zerg player you don't want your creep tumors to be cleaned up, at least they give you knowledge of where your opponent's army is at that exact moment in time. As this Overlord is going to take its one last shot in the bum before the Marine is totally encircled by all those Zerglings, and Taeja's going to harass the 3 o'clock position of TLO again, able to destroy some Zerglings, and he's sitting on the high ground here. But that Ultralisk is going to put an end to that. At the same time, Taeja's going to come around the left flank of TLO, but now there's fungal growth. The fungal's able to lock down most of the Bioforce, and the Ultralisk just go to town, and the Manavacs are now going to boost away as they have no one to heal. There's a small Bioforce at the top right, but the one Baneling or a couple Baneling hits should be able to clean this up, and now the Marine Marauders are done. This lone Ultralisk gets fired on by this lone siege tank, but he's still doing significant damage. The mine's going to do a hit, but the supply depot might go down. The tank gets another hit. This lone Ultralisk is just wandering around across the map, and now he's going to get picked off. That's a lot of gooey guts. Ooh, look at that spine. Pretty gross. But Taeja does have his 4th up and running, but TLO is knocking on his doorstep. He's got a huge group of Infestors and Ultralists with Banelink, and those Fungals are money, able to lock down a lot of those units, and the Ultralists are just stampeding in. The Infestors are withdrawing. The Marines and Marauders are trying to kite. But there's so many Zerglings and another Banelink connection, and there's still 5 or 6 Ultralists here, picking on about 10 Marines, and that's not going to work out well for Taeja. And Taeja realizes that the game is nearly over. The supplies tell the story. TLO has a significant supply advantage, and TLO is not able to sustain pressure, and he's going to lose his 4th here. So TLO is able to win game 1 of this best of 5 series. We'll have to go to the next game to see if Taeja can bounce back.